Hi, Varta. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are, you are.
Okay, thank you. Uh, yeah, Varta. Actually, that repository I was checking. So in the release section, there is no artifact has been created. Oh, it's a recorded one, Varta. Okay, we'll discuss later maybe.
No problem, no problem.
Yeah.
Maybe a reminder is required. Already 10:30, right?
Yeah, Varta. I'll be sharing it.
Right. And yeah, anybody had, Bernard, anybody pinged you?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Bernard would be joining.
okay. And Ashish also?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, TSC meeting is going forward actually.
Ha. Yeah, maybe we have to wait for some time.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Hi, Ashish. Ashish, are you there?
Yes, yes, I'm there.
Okay, perfect. We are able to hear you also. And you have demo video ready, right?
Yeah, yeah, I have that video ready.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, the TSC meeting is going on, so we are waiting.
Sure.
Any idea by when it will be over? Or is it a overlapping one?
Um, it should be over by 10:30, but I think might be some discussion was going on, so might take another 5 minutes.
Okay, no problem. Maybe we need to have this demo even for the Monday meeting, isn't it? Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, I was talking on the mute. So Monday, I'm not sure whether we will get a time in that particular meeting. We need to check with Achisana whether she would be interested, because it will cover all the work groups, right? So
Correct. Correct. Maybe we can put a word, we had the
yeah.
demo. Yeah, 70%, whatever that part.
Hmm, hmm. Yeah, hi team.
Hi, Subhash.
Yeah, hi. I hope TC meeting got over.
Just finished. Yeah.
Okay. Let's give another 2 to 3 minutes and let's start from there. Yeah, hi Bernard.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hi, Bala.
Yes, Subhash.
Yeah.
Very-
So we are just waiting for another 1 minute so that folk could join.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense.
Uh, so Tim, I before the folks go join, I have one small query. So let's say tomorrow, if we want to go for the re-review of the user story, is it still possible that the same user story that today we will discuss and take it tomorrow in the work group 3? Is it possible, or? Tim, are you there?
I'm sorry, I just got back. I went to go.
Yeah. Okay.
I can only go. There's so many meetings in a row. I'm getting old.
Yeah, right.
I walked away because you said we were ready.
Okay, okay, sure. Please take your time.
Ask the question again. I'm sorry, I just
Okay.
walked back.
Yeah, I was asking, let's say today we are going to review one of our user story, and that last time we decided, right? We'll get some feedback, we'll do something on it, and we'll discuss. And I was thinking, is it still possible that we take the user story to work group 3 tomorrow and
It was
discuss?
supposed to be. It was supposed to be that Wim was supposed. You were supposed to. The team was. Wim needed to see the user stories and needed to break it down. Right.
Yeah.
That was the concern. You
Yes.
take that next. You take that tomorrow. It's going to be the same problem. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just telling you what's going to happen. Right.
Yeah.
And so I don't see Wim on here, but I think you gotta, Wim's concern is that we got to break down these user stories into further detail, right? And he's got a way of thinking about this, and so uh, I don't know what to do without Wim, right? Going through and
Right.
giving some guidance on it.
Yes.
I don't think taking it to RX again,
Mhm.
for Wim to say, no, I need to talk to you about it, it's
Yeah.
gonna be beneficial, right? It's just gonna waste that group's time. That's my personal opinion, if you're asking.
Yep, I agree. Yes.
Yeah, actually, I was waiting for the entire week so that we could resolve it, but again, yeah, we need to spend the time. So that's what actually my concern.
Yeah, others, have, almost no concern, but he has some concern means we need to get his approval here.
Yeah. That I completely agree. Um, yes, maybe I'll just ping Vim or
Yes. In fact, we have to address him because, even offline or,
okay. So
Yeah.
let's start today's meeting then. If we are okay, like we are given the time. So let's start today's meeting. We'll take this point later also. Okay, I'll share my screen and let's go there. Okay. Yeah. Let me. Yeah. Here. So yeah. So this is the workgroup 5 meeting. Today is the 15th February, and and I have prepared some pointers for today's agenda. The first one, which we would like to take, is the user story on the impact analysis. So last time we were discussing on it, how we are going to correlate the high-level intent with the low-level resources. And also we had some discussion on the KPT file, how it captures some information and how we can try to get some meaning out of it. So that we were discussing. And the second one, our main topic, service assurance framework. So there we would like to address the concern, all the concerns, like, is it possible to really break it down further so that we can achieve something in R3? So we have two versions of it. One is a detailed one, and the version 1, and version 2, mainly focused on the ODU bandwidth assurance. And then we have planned on the POC one demo that on the service assurance framework. So based on our second user story. So Ashish has come up with one small demo so that we could understand the idea, and also we are trying to address some of the points those are not clear, like placement of actor pod or actor, and also the config injection. So those things will get demonstrated here. And the last one, some updates around the observability, means like what the requirement means, how the observability is moving forward with our requirements from the SS side. Okay, so these were the overall agenda items. And feel free to add anything if you feel we could discuss if time allows.
I would have
Yeah.
one request from my side. So
Yes.
if possible, could we try to see if we can slice or the elephant in the sense that sort of we try to identify a package which we could then say, this is what Vim could evaluate, and it's small enough that it doesn't touch too many components and is something which sort of would allow him to derive what kind of implementation efforts would be involved. Not wanting to forget the big picture, but basically having something which could be then handed over to the work stream too.
Yes, Bernard. Actually, because of the same reason, we tried to come up with one demo just to prove that this all the aspects we could handle it, and we could work on it. So I would say that demo actually addresses all the 70% or 75% of the requirement. So that we can discuss further, like how we can break down, or is it really necessary to break down, or is it sufficient? So we could discuss over this particular item actually. But
my impression simply was that it seems still to be too big, but maybe I'm wrong here. I just wanted to sort of see that we're not generating sort of a framework where, again, it's being said that it's too much to be implemented, but rather
Yeah.
have something tangible for the other team.
Yes, Bernard.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
if we go through this POC, we will get a broad idea like what exactly we are targeting.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bertha, you were commenting something.
Yes. Maybe we have to first, discuss that topic. In fact, Wim is here. I think he joined, right?
Yeah, I was a bit late.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got a call.
Yeah. So
See, my point is this. Okay, let me rephrase my point. So first of all, I think if I look at service assurance, you're basically then the first thing that you need to do is focus on the use case that you're trying to address. So the document right now, for example, how to install the actor pod. First of all, whether we need the actor pod is not a discussion. To install the actor pod, it's not a problem of service assurance. So as such, so that's not in the scope of what you should try to solve. What you should try to do is, for example, first of all, we say the first use case is ODU, okay?
Right.
So if I look at that, then what you want, and it's all local in a cluster, right?
Okay.
Is that correct or not?
It's actually the assurance controller that would like to keep in the management cluster.
No. Talk ODU use case. Focus just ODU use case. Is that locally within the cluster?
Within the cluster, yeah.
Okay, so why does the whole 80% of the document explain things that are outside of the cluster?
Actually, I try to keep every detailed thing, like how we'll start and how we'll end the use case. Actually, I try to compare it. I'll come there actually, Bim. It's like
I just looked at the document 2 hours ago again, right? I had the same observation. So if the use case is about getting information from an element and trying to basically tell to what to do based on the information you see, you should focus the use case on that aspect. Right now, the whole thing is focused on lots of stuff that has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, Bib, I'll get into that point. Actually, I have brought up with some spec reference also, so that I'll discuss. So that is we can take a decision there actually. Okay, I'll come there.
Yeah, my opinion, Subhash, maybe we can make this first. See, this is one outstanding item, na?
Yeah.
So we can discuss this first. We will start with the POC.
Sure.
Right, and then we open the document. And his question is, if it's all about ODU service assurance.
Yeah, of course.
Why are we having service controller, intent, and all that stuff? My answer would be, we are building a generic framework. Since it has a lot of other dependency like observability and all, we took this case as a special part, but still we want to build first on the framework. That was the answer, Wim.
But see the problem. I have a problem with that because the framework, you will only be able to do that if you understand the details that you have to accomplish. So first of all, in your first use case, you're not even using observability. Okay, so don't tell me that you're going to that you are building a framework to interact with observability if your first use case is not even using it. So that's why I would say there's the same with ORAN, right? In ORAN, we can do lots of stuff, but the team decided to focus on things that we believe are reasonable and manageable. Whereas here, we first try to go, oh, let's do everything on the planet, and then you don't do anything at the end of the day. Okay. So my point is, let's focus on the thing that you want to do, rather than trying to come up with lots of stuff that by the way, is not even in scope of service assurance.
Okay.
For some parts.
Okay. I'll just take a request, Bernard. Could we take this second user story first before going to on the impact analysis?
You mean talking about the impact analysis? I can do that.
Yeah, I meant to say, shall we go first on the service assurance?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to start with that, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's open. Let's go to this our this first item. So that we would like to go to work group 3. Sorry, I meant to say for the review work group 3. So yeah, Bernard, sorry, Wim. Actually, I'll try to give my thought here. Actually, I referred this particular use case requirement document that comes from the ORAN Alliance. This is the workgroup 2 use case requirement document. So if you go to the particular this section 4.5.1, which talks about the service assurance, how we are going to handle in the handle for the RAN, right? So they try to come up with one generic flow. Actually, we were talking about the actors, right? So why? What is the notion of the actor? Actually, it is like exapts. Those are getting deployed. Sorry, here.
But Subhash, so for me, this doesn't help your case, by the way, in my view, because see, you want to focus on the use case. Your use case is PRB and bandwidth modification based on information you get.
Yes, yes.
Right? Focus on that. All what you see here, it's fine, but it's noise.
Actually, yeah, Wim, that I'm trying to convince you. This is our it's like we are taking motivation from this particular scenario. Okay, and then we are trying to
try to accomplish something. It's not, see, there is a lot of theory. You want to do something in practice and prove a point, right? I'm telling you, focus on something that is real. For example, how do you interact? So you do bandwidth control, right? How do you interact with the network function? What is the interface? How are you going to do that? Based on what information are you going to do that? That is what service assurance is.
Yes, actually, Wim, that we try to answer in this document also. That tomorrow we are going.
Show me where. Yeah. Show me where.
See, if you see it here. Okay, 1 minute. Could you enter the product manager? Yeah. So see here that I try to explain it. Why the actor pod is involved in the KPI collection.
No, but it's not why, it's what are you going to collect and what are you going to do with it and how are you going to react. That is not explained at all into the document.
That I explained it here. Actually, Wim, you can see it here.
No.
We are going to collect the PRB utilization. It's very much clear, right?
Okay, and how are the counters? Which protocol are the counters being used to get it? Yeah, so it's all of that, Subhash.
Yeah, so that answer.
My
also
impression is, if I may just my impression is that we've got a a very big user story written down here with many different aspects which need to be considered when actually going for the full story. And I believe what Wim is asking for is to break down this user story in tangible, implementable bits and pieces, which can then be evaluated by the teams. So I would recommend to try to understand if we can derive out of this large user stories, smaller user stories, which over the time can be implemented and which all contribute to this overall picture. That means if we could extract the sub-elements of that overall architecture and say, we need this functionality, can we start with that one and gradually extend the functionality by adding more and more user stories to that? Then I believe the communication would be easier, because otherwise we might be distracted by many other elements which are also depicted in this diagram, but which would not be implemented in the first go.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I agree, Bernard. But I'm just trying to give the idea that I try to cover all the aspects, like if observability is there, then how the architecture will look. If observability is not there, then how the architecture will look.
But it's not relevant, I think, Subhash, right? So that's...
So
hold it. Hang on. So Subhash, go back to that diagram.
This one?
Yeah. All right. So Wim, I'm going to ask a question here. Again, you have you actually eloquently stated what the use case is about. It's about collecting PRB utilization in order to reconfigure bandwidth in an ODU. That's what the use case is about, right? All right.
Correct.
Now the way that we go about doing that is an integration with the service assurance controller, right? And he wants to use the service assurance controller to affect that to affect that use case, which means he has to be able to deploy an actor, and he has to be just what this sequence is, right? So what is it that, in your view, what is it that you're saying is not needed, because everything is needed, every one of these steps is needed in order to affect this use case?
So look at how we do observability here, Tim, right? In observability, right, or take the SDK, right? Somehow we need to have a piece of software deployed in the cluster, right? Basically what the guy said, not my problem, right? So we have NF2 infra who's doing that, okay? And so here we are trying to do things that are not in scope of the thing that we need to accomplish. So in other words, the first thing that we need to do is, first I'm questioning whether we actually need an actor pod for this use case at all, because there are solutions out there today inside of the Kubernetes ecosystem that actually take any metric you have on the planet and take an action, okay? Secondly, we need to figure out which interface that we are going to use to be able to accomplish that, right? So in other words, focus on that rather than trying to boil the ocean of things that you might not even need. Because anything, observability, even today, deploying a network function requires CRDs to be installed into the cluster, right? We have solutions for that. Just leverage that. That's not part of service assurance.
But that is not multi-cluster.
Yeah, it is multi-cluster. It is multi-cluster.
No, because
yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. We can deploy. We deploy today network functions across multiple clusters. We can deploy software across multiple clusters. Not a problem.
But we can't observe it at a centralized place, right?
See, I'm not talking observability. I'm talking about the instantiation of the specific software components that are needed to do something. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
That's
but
not a problem of service assurance.
Yeah, well, what I'm telling, we can't leverage that, no? See, we can't leverage the today's condition of NF.
Yes, you can. You can.
Yes, you
With
can't
the work
observe.
that we are doing in NF2 infra, you can.
So
You can basically deploy dynamically any software on any installation.
yeah, so actually,
So Wim, probably if you can, maybe some of the crew here may not be knowing about NFT infra. Would you like to give a little bit of 1 minute overview so that everybody's on the same page?
See, what we try to do with NFTI, so what was the mission of NF2 infra is they basically said, okay, I want to have a piece of software, right? And everything that is dependent on it will automatically install, right? This is exactly the same. Here you say, I want service assurance, right? Let's say it's a CRD or whatever. There will be a package that takes care of it. It will automatically be installed. So that's basically what NF2 infra does. And that's generic, whether it's service assurance, whether it's SDKs, whether it's installing network function, installing a cluster, it's irrespective of that. And it's multi-cluster.
I think so. We should bring actually.
But see,
also.
That's why I'm saying is we are trying. So by putting all of this together, right? You're
we never heard your comment
have
actually.
These conversations that are not needed for service assurance, and that's my point from the beginning.
All right, so let's hang on, Sebastian. Let's go down that path for a second. So, what you're suggesting, Wim, is that from steps 3 through deployed,
yeah,
is NF to infra. Is that correct?
Wait, so first thing is the following. You have a use case that is monocluster, okay? So that's point number 1. So all of what you show here is not relevant, okay? That's point number 1, okay? 80% of the document talks about the thing that is not relevant. Okay.
No, no, yeah,
Actually, it's more than 80%. It's actually probably 90% of the
right.
bug.
Actually, Wim,
So-
that I will
You're
not
right.
agree.
And so-
that I will not agree.
This is the problem, you know.
Yeah.
He started with a generic use case, and since there is a dependency, he has cut down onto a monocluster case. So it's not
No,
that
see,
whatever he's talking,
Yes.
is irrelevant.
See, Verada, let me say, in observability, okay, we want to do multi-cluster. If you look what the guys are doing in R3, right, it's going to focus on a specific element and trying to get the information out of the system and then focus on it. And then they go to the next phase and stuff like that. So they have also very big ambitions. But if you look to the scope that we are trying to do in the short term, that's what they are focused upon. And my point is, if you don't, if you would not do the same, you will not
I
achieve
would
it.
say no. You know, how can
yeah.
we decide? Stephen is already speaking with us. He said, give us the requirement and they will implement. See,
Yeah, okay, but you in your use case, you're not even using observability. So what you're discussing is actually, I don't understand, because your use case
No,
doesn't
Wim.
even use observability.
So, Wim, actually, let us to also explain. We are also attending the observability meeting. We are trying to provide the requirement to the Stephen. So we also talking about like how we could observe the ODU. So everything we are trying to do it, and also we are trying to come up with this diagram. And also I shared this diagram particularly with the Stephen to review it.
Okay, but the diagram doesn't even discuss anything of that. There is nothing
yes,
in
that
your
slowly will evolve,
in your
right, Wim?
document about that.
It will evolve, right? I mean, like observability will evolve that particular piece.
Okay, then my suggestion is focus on that part, because that's what you are going to essentially need to do. That's the essence of service assurance.
Yes, to just to cross that hurdle, already we if you go through this FAQ, right? I mentioned that for this particular R3, just to avoid that dependency, I have this actor taking the responsibility of collecting the KPI parameter. But
okay, so if that's your thing, why don't you focus on that?
Yeah, that we said that we will do it in this diagram. Actually, I said that Wim, actually, if you go through the document completely, right? So I have given this two version of it. If we don't have observability ready, then what we need to do?
Where is it documented? Where do you document all of that?
Yes, it is
Which
there.
interfaces do you use for your metrics? Which how are you going to interact with? None of that is described.
It is described. Actually,
No,
see here.
no. Point me
yes,
to the text.
No, FAQ clearly explained everything here. See this.
No,
Like,
that's not true. Not correct. Which interface do you use? Which metrics do you collect? You haven't described any of that.
Yes, actually, see here. It's like I clearly say that OI will
We'll be providing the
details
of the ODU, but that's not describing. You're not describing what it is.
No, so that we agreed with Sagar also. Sagar is from the OAI.
Okay, if you agreed, write it down.
Okay. That I verbally explained also during the review process also, I think. So that time I clearly mentioned that. I think you should have commented here.
No problem. We can write that. See.
Yeah, sure.
The second thing what we need to understand is like, do we need an API? So do we have to develop something, or can we reuse something of the in the ecosystem to do so? There is many solutions in this space, by the way.
Actually, Wim, for that answer, actually, I'll say if we go to this particular spec, right? So it is a clearly notion of an actor, like the actor could be XApp or actor could be RApp. So RApp, when you have the not real time, it addresses those slow closed loop, and the XApp address you are the fast closed loop. So it talks about it clearly. And if you try to match this this entire specification also, like over the O1 we are doing the collection, and also we are trying to deploy the RApp as an actor and XApp as an actor, so that everything is happening here. If you go through the entire this flow, and also if you see it,
but you're trying to focus on your use case. I'm trying to focus you on your use case, not to talk about the generic document of stuff like that. I'm trying to help you focus on your use case. You're pointing back to like some very generic stuff. It will not help.
Wim, actually, this is only one section which talks about how the SLA would be addressed. It is also not generic, I would say. And And yeah, if you try to map it here, sorry, this particular section, I try to compare with the ORAN architecture, like how our solution is compatible with the ORAN solution. So everything I try to explain actually.
In other words, there is already an actor
Yeah.
which is doing some sort of assurance.
Yeah.
And they would be expecting, especially in ORAN, they have XApps already with sophisticated AI ML models. They just want a hookup in the nephew.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, you please collect whatever I want through observability. I know what to do, and you please provide a way to hook up me. And that is the purpose of actor.
You don't have to explain that to me, Varan, right? What I'm trying to say is, what work are you going to do to do that? So I'm trying to, because you basically say my focus is ODU, right? Then let's focus on that.
Again, Subhash, go to the first. See, our focus is the first diagram, observability, with all the observability. Okay, this is our real focus. We believe it is doable. We have even a POC. Of course, observability, we have to wait for Steven stuff. Even that we have some stuff, but we'll open it up later in the observability group. But since observability is not there, not this diagram. Our main focus is to build a framework. First flow chart you do. Take the first.
This is the one.
With observability.
Say with observability.
Correct. So this is what we want to achieve. But unfortunately, there are a lot of dependencies. So we want to stop observability, but we want to build as many components. We don't want to directly go to ODU and just doing that operator one small service assurance, since it's a monocluster. We want to build as many components as possible in this
multi-cluster to address multi-cluster
in this
environment.
flow chart. Okay, observability is a parallel development. Okay, let them time. But at the same time, we want to stop and do the next flow chart, go to the other one with maximum components to be reused when observability comes.
Yeah, but I'm not even talking about observability, by the way. I'm talking about the first thing.
What is the first thing?
Your ODU use case.
Yeah, it is here. Yeah.
So guys, in this particular one, what we're asking for is, what Wim is asking for is, you just forget about all the other stuff that you talked about, whether it's ORAN or everything else. Just talk about how you're going to develop, what do you need to develop this use case, as Wim said. So he says, okay, I got first thing, I'm just going to go look at the bottom, right? I'm going to have a PRB utilization. So the metrics will be for PRB, right? And then you're going to have to define what those metrics are. What's that interface that the ODU is going to provide the actor, right? And let's assume there's an actor. Wim could say that there's something else. I don't care if there's a component or whatever, but provide whoever is going to do that decision based upon the I'm not saying it's deployed even, right? But that's just that piece. He's just saying, what does that look like, right? And then what does it look like to put that back? What does it look like to reconfigure the bandwidth? What interfaces do you use for that, right? Now, Wim might very well come in and say, we already have within a workload cluster, because these are in the singular workload clusters. Wim may very well say, well, we already have something that will, a component. You don't need it. You don't need a deploying actor for that. You could utilize this component, right? Correct me if I'm getting off base.
Yeah, correct.
Right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Now you've solved that problem, right? Now you say, okay, now I want to, maybe you decide that there needs to be an actor there. Maybe you don't, right? And then, but if you do decide that you need an actor there, how is that actor deployed? And Wim would say, well, we already have infra to that thing. You don't need to talk about steps 3 through deploy, right? Because that all just follows the normal path. All right? And so all that does is just say, see infra or utilize infra to NF to infra, right? Okay. I think that's where you're getting at. Then you're saying, do I need a service assurance controller and the management cluster, right, to do this? And then you talk about why you need that, right? I think that's what Wim is getting at. Wim, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, correct. Yeah. Because you will see that actually in the workload, in the management cluster, you almost need nothing, basically.
But you
just
don't
need to
have
basically
all
say what to collect, and that's it.
right? But you don't have all these, Wim doesn't care, and personally, all these alternative things that are going to be done in the future, or an integration observability framework, because you said we're not going to do that right now in this first piece of it.
Yeah, correct. So, yeah. It's the same like if you look to how the ORAN use cases are developed, right? I mean, if you look to the documents, right, they have also bigger ambitions, right? But they basically scope down to things that they believe are realistic and contained, right? And that's and what you see is that if you do that, you have no contention. There is nothing. So my suggestion is do the same. You can have bigger ambitions. That's fine, right? But let's focus on things that we can achieve.
But yeah,
And you can do 100 proof of concepts and stuff like that. I don't care. And that's good, right? So I am not dismissing that. But the thing is, let's focus on things that we can do, because right now you're focused on things that potentially, based on all the stuff that you do, you might basically throw away and do completely different. I'm trying to have you focus on the essence.
Actually, so at the beginning of the document also, like when we talk about the higher level stuff, right? So that time we had the motivation to have the actor in the management cluster also.
Yes. Okay. And the near real-time rig is an example of that, right? So there's basically already, and what I'm trying to say is that there are things that are already solving that problem today. So so what I'm trying to say, I try to do something that
out of band. There are things which are solving the problem out of band, whereas we want to solve it using service assurance controller within Nephew.
Yes, right.
Yeah, but in some cases, you will see that Nephew or Kubernetes is not the right framework to do this in, Varana, right? That's the other thing that you have to realize. Kubernetes is good for certain things, but if you really want to do fine granular stuff, it is not good, okay?
But we believe some of the use cases, like, enough reconfiguration to match some KPIs, is doable in Kubernetes.
That you already see. There is already 100 solutions in that space today.
This is one solution.
Yeah.
Which we believe which can be extended to multi-cluster level and ORAN compliant.
Also available today.
Wim, but I would say, like, what is wrong if we go with the Nephew way of doing? Let's have one more component in the Nephew. That's addressing that problem.
We can see now we are discussing again frameworks and what we have to do. So I'm saying I'm always of the opinion, walk before you try to run, right? Let's walk. I'm trying to make you walk and you try to run, that's fine. But that's why we have this different opinions. I'm saying, please walk first.
Yeah, so actually the meaning of walk is like when we take, right? It's like we feel that we can achieve this one. Means we have the demo also actually, Wim.
That's fine, but so let's focus on the things that we can achieve, because you want to do something in R3 or not?
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, what you have explained here is not detailed by far enough to actually do the stuff, right? So that's the first thing that you have to do.
But Wim, I would be asking, like, what extra details we could add it, because from my side, actually,
I'm telling you the way which canals you collect, how you collect them, how you interface with the network element, none of that is described, which is for me the essence of the whole thing.
Yeah, that part actually, I said that this API, Sagar from the OEI, he is going to provide us. So I think that should be very much clear, because it must be some kind of a file read just to collect those KPI parameter.
Okay, so let's focus on that. Try to understand what it is, how it works, what we need to do to develop that, how do we interface with the network function to do an action and stuff like that. So all of that needs to be flushed out.
Actually, Bim, what happened? Like, if you see the
Subhash, one second. Sorry, on that metric collection stuff, since I probably, if Sagar is not here, probably we may need to ask him. Generally, from the specs perspective, I mean, since it's coming from OEI is doing the reference implementation of a lot of components for OSC, which is again, like doing it it's under the umbrella of LF and ORAN Alliance, right? So from the metrics collection perspective, if it's a one interface, if you're talking, it's almost always netconf most of the time, is what I understand. So is that the interface Sagar was talking about? Is that the way he is going to give us the metrics?
Actually,
Yeah,
Bala, when you refer it, there's a file collection also is there. It's not necessarily it is a netcon. You could collect the KPI parameter by file reading the files also. So that option is also available. So
Oh, in
currently,
Woven? Okay.
if you see the user story from the work group too, so that I have added in the reference also. So there
all of that will be very specific to OAI, right? So the other thing that we have to discuss, okay, how can we generalize it and how can we see and how we can get that information in a more generic way to be able to be doing something that is not OAI specific, right? That's the other thing that we have to discuss.
I agree. That observability is going to solve that problem, right? Just to pass R3, just to do something in the R3, we can take this approach, right?
Sure, but we see, we haven't even discussed this, right? It's not even written down in your documents anywhere. So let's first flush that out before we go to the next, to all the other stuff.
Yeah. Okay. For example, yeah, this particular user story is there, right? How to reconfigure it. So I still miss like it is from the work group too. So we are referring it how they will reconfigure it. So those all details will be captured here, right? If you see it here, update the config map.
Here we specified exactly how it will be done, right? So, and that was clarified during the meeting. So basically here they have actually done that work.
Yeah. So yeah, something similar to
you're having you have a bigger challenge because you here in the configuration, first of all, it's non-real time basically, so it's very low end, and it's so they are developing a dedicated interface for this, right? So whereas for you, you have to, we have to figure all of these things out and see how we can generalize that capability, right?
But we still it's not need to be a real time because we can call it as a RF.
No, I'm not. I'm just asking how it works, right? I'm not even. Let's first
So So
discuss what we will do versus how we can optimize.
Okay, so yeah, so what do you think? Still.
I keep saying what I'm saying. Focus on what you want. Focus on the first step.
The actor part, you meant to say that?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so that details we could add it, but yeah, but overall the flow wise, I think we are okay, right? Because maybe we can go through the demo, next demo also. Means you can get a better picture, like what exactly
you can show a demo, yeah. But for example, installing the software and stuff like that, you don't even have to bother about it. That's
okay.
So the only thing that matters is basically your API.
Okay. So. Okay, actually, yeah, this also we could discuss that, means like how this could be replaced by the NF to infra. I think if you could add some comments here, so that we can discuss. Actually, you can explain about the NF to infra, how we could handle it. So that maybe we can call it. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Okay, we'll jump on the second topic. The next topic actually.
But hang up, Subhash. I just want to get you guys going. So I think really, I think you and Wim need to set aside some time to go through this, right? So if you wait till the next Thursday meeting or whatever, I mean, I'm just saying that it might help if you guys do this one-on-one, right? You know, because that way you can have a discussion. I don't know how
next week, by the way, I'm traveling to the US again, so next week will be tough for me, by the way.
Okay.
For the week after, I'm back.
Okay. So
I'm just trying to figure out the most productive use of both your times. That's all. That's
sure, Wim. We'll try to think up. Maybe if it's possible, you try to take some time and we can discuss further. So just putting a pause on this particular item and go jump on our next item, the demo part. So Ashish, are you ready with this demo?
Yes, I'm ready with the demo.
Okay. Okay, I'll stop sharing. Please go through it.
Yeah, okay. I'll just start sharing. Okay, yeah. So It is visible, right? My screen.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Okay. So I will move forward. So first of all, yes, I understand what Vim needs to say, that focus on this workload cluster, what actor, how you're going to communicate to ODU and all that stuff, which is true, which we need to do, which we will do. But currently demo will focus on this 1 to 7 steps, how they are going to be there and how it is implemented as of now. So I have a video prepared of that, and NFT infra we can also see if, how it does. So currently I have one this Nephews setup in my VM. So I'll just show you. So I'm just doing a Docker PS. So here you can see that we have all the edge, regional and core clusters in this Nephew system. So it's a whole Nephew setup. And if I just show you what's the part of this edge cluster. So I'm just logging into that edge cluster over here. And yep. So this is the edge cluster, and you can see that some ODU has already been deployed in this edge cluster. So like it was deployed way back when I was testing with the OAI. So the packages are there in the edge cluster. So the like the workspace. I'm currently showing you the workspace over here, and yeah, so your DU is already deployed at edge cluster. So yeah, so if we move to this, so the first step is the deploy DU package. So it has already been deployed into the edge cluster. Now our main step starts from this step number 2, which is first is to create a service assurance intent for ODU bandwidth assurance, right? So we move forward, and then I show you. So this is a typical how a CR will look like, service assurance CR. So the kind of this CR is obviously service assurance, with the spec being the one is the package target ref, which says that in this repository, edge repository, there lies a package with the name of OAI RAN DU. I want to deploy an actor for this package. So this is the package target ref, and this is the KPI and condition that you want to observe, and to which you want to assure service for. So currently we don't have observability, so these things will go to observability, that okay, we want to observe these things from this ODU. But since currently we don't have, so we when we will go and write an actor pod, then we will take all these things into account. And then we have an actor list. So if you see over here, so we say that we take an actor package and we deploy that actor package. Now an actor repository, so actually I've created one repository actor. I will show you in this also. And we just say that, okay, let's just show you in this only. So just moving forward, yeah. So over here is the edge cluster in which OR and DU is already deployed. Moving forward. Okay, so now we'll show you the edge, this actor repository. So this is the content of this actor repository right now. So this is the like I have created my own repository under my username in this Gitya, and also registered it in the KPT Alpha RPG, KPT Alpha repo. I've registered this repository also, and in this I have created this one package, which is the actor package. So du dlprb actor is over here. Yeah. So yes, so the repo is this, and the revision, you can specify the revision also, which revision you want to deploy for that package. Yeah. So now this package can contain a lot of things, like based on your thing, because I have also checked how you can do service assurance, because there's some sort of like HPAs are also there, horizontal pod autoscalers are also there that you can use, and a lot of different things, KRM things are also there that you can use. But obviously, because since this actor repository can only contain blueprint repository, right, it is going to be a blueprint repository, so it does not know what ODU in the cluster we are going to communicate with. So these things need to be added using config injection. So that's why currently it's a blueprint repository. We can add anything over here based on our requirements. So with ODU, we are saying that we will create this deployment.yaml, and this deployment.yaml is going to contain our whole code. Currently, it is nothing. It is a dummy over here. But yes, once we get with Sagar, we came to know that different ways in which we can communicate. We will just add one more image for that, and we'll write a code for that, how we can do it. So yes, so this is how it is seen over here. This is the actors repository. So yeah, so now the next step is to create. So I'll just show you what are all the
By the way,
contents.
you're just confirming my fear that you were doing that, which all of what you're showing here has nothing to do with service assurance. So you're basically confirming what I was fearing that you were doing.
No, but we will work on that
Yeah.
workload cluster and actor
Yeah.
thing also, because the thing is like for my side, I'm waiting for Sagar, like that how we can communicate with ODU. So something that we need from him actually. Once we get from him, we
No,
will
for sure,
start
sure.
working.
And yeah, so
Right.
but my point is now you're making service assuring do installation of packages. What is service assurance? It is acting on signals to
Right.
react on things. And
But
so
yeah,
I said
but
from the
this-
beginning to the team here,
Actually,
do one thing and do it well. Don't try to
No.
boil the ocean.
But
Here you're
isn't it a
trying to-
whole framework over here? I mean, so
Yeah,
you are
basically
The
saying
problem
since
is,
beginning-
okay, let's continue. But what you see is that you now are in the business of installing packages, which is definitely not what service assurance is about.
Yeah, it is going to install package, but it's also going for
Yeah.
config injection actually. But okay, I'll just continue. The demo.
Also not in the business of service assurance, by the way.
Okay.
But okay.
Yeah, let's continue. Yeah. So over here we'll just apply that service insurance, the intent. Oh, sorry, the CR that I've showed you. Just getting the controller up running. Yeah. So we have applied the CR, and now you can see the job in the creation state. And since the way we have described our architecture over here, that first we will get all the ODU package details, because our package resides in an edge cluster, and in order to communicate with that package, we might need some IPs to communicate with that package. Again, we have to discuss with the Sagar what all the values that we from ODU we could require from that. But we say that this package should contain some of the some package details should contain all the some of the values in sort of in case of the NF deployment. So over here we are getting all the package details. Just if you wrote down just a second. Yeah, so these are all the KPT file, as well as everything is over here. All the package details actually. So using these details, we take these details, and then we deploy this. We take this blueprint package and we inject some of the details into this blueprint package, and then deploy this package into the Edge repository over here. So it is over here, and if you can see over here in this package context.yaml, so we have injected it with this kind is equal to end of deployment, which contains all its specs over here. So that it's just a way of say that currently we are injecting these things, but once we know what actor deployment requires, we will then just inject those values only. And with the help of KPT function, we will just transfer those values to the YAML files they are required. So yes, so this is the demo. So first, starting from step 1, it goes to the step 7. And then in the end, it deploys it in the edge cluster also. So if you see over here, it has come into the edge cluster, the actor pod. Yeah, so this is the demo so far. So from step 1 to step 7 we have done, and this is yeah, this needs to be done, and it will be done.
Yeah, Pim, actually, this approach we have taken because from last several months we were discussing this flow, right? Means how we are going to place it. So
yeah, but I always said that this is not the way to do it, right? So it's like, okay, you can, that's fine, but
okay,
as you see, right, none of what you have done is related to service assurance.
that's the next step. Actually, it's like first we need to somehow
Yeah,
place
but
the actor.
Subhash, what I'm trying to say is that so this is so you're trying to cover a case. What you see right now is now you make service assurance be dependent on package installation and stuff like that. So You create, if every element is doing that, then everyone does everything, and that's bad for automation. I keep saying, do one thing and focus on one thing and do that well. And what service assurance is, you need to get signals and you need to act, and you need to be able to know how to act. That's what you should focus on.
Right.
And this was my fear. I was fearing
cluster.
I was fearing about this, but and you're just confirming my fear.
For me, SA intent is related to service assurance. If something involves deployment of a package, the whole nephew is about shift left. So I'm not sure why we are aware.
See, why is a service assurance CRD containing information to a package? That's already broken. It shouldn't do that.
Because we know upfront what are the things which we want to control at the package time, and due to shift left policy, we have to
it's nothing to do with shift left, but it's nothing to do with shift left. So the point is that in service assurance, you should focus on the signals you should get right on the system rather than deploying stuff. That is a different element that is taking care of that.
The signals should be defined at the package time. That's very important.
In the CRD, I'm not disputing the signals, I'm disputing the package.
Yep. Actually, package is the reference for us, right? So that we can enhance it also.
That's not, you're not in that's not in the business. Yeah, so that's not what service assurance should be about, right? And that's why I'm saying, okay, why I keep saying the same thing. 80%, actually, it's even more in my view. It's 90% of the document that you have is focused on things that is not relevant for service assurance.
Because the framework will be generic, right? And the actor is specialized for doing the service assurance, actually.
And SA control is for observing the intent.
SA
yes, but your service assurance CRD contains 2 package references, which they shouldn't be there at all.
Actually, if I compare, I will see something similar to this, like Nephew controller is doing the package specialization, but overall the Porch is doing the orchestration, right? So similarly, we have tried to say something like SA control is serving the API. The actor is specialized in doing the assurance. So different use case, different kind of actor will be having. So that segregation you can see.
I'm not disputing that, but the way you express it is through an API, not through a package.
This part actually, yeah, maybe I'll need some little more clarity. Okay, so okay, actually we can reach to the time limit also.
Yeah, we are running out, but
okay.
So yeah, you're just confirming my fear with this demo, by the way.
Yeah, actually, this one we were discussing from long back, actually, Wim.
Correct.
Like this is the way we are going to do it.
Yeah, but it's very important, maybe, Wim, you please tell, what is the stuff, like, for example, we should not do anything on the package. This should be given to something else, probably enough to infra, I'm not sure. So you can put it in the offline comments. Please take some time.
I mean, I put that in the document. I have been trying to make you focus on the service assurance for probably the last 3 discussions. And if you don't get it, I don't know what I can do better, but that's my point from the beginning. None of this has what you just showed has to do with service assurance.
Right. So what you can do, right? You put that thing, how it is done, in an alternate way, and what you want the SA to concentrate on for, this particular.
I've put already the 5th comment into the document, but it seems that every time that I say it, you're trying to go to a completely different thing, right? So last time so we had the first Friday call. What did we do? I said, focus on the workload cluster. The next Friday meeting, all of a sudden there is a document again with the whole thing. And if you look to the text of that document, that is basically 4 sentences on what you actually should do. So if you continue to do so, okay, you seem that we are talking about a different thing, or that we don't understand each other.
Yeah, in fact, that's the issue here. Subhash believes that he has addressed the concern, in one form or the other, whereas
it's not.
we were expecting something else. So it's better, you put that expectation. I don't want essay controller.
That's why I'm saying. So I'm trying Varad to say, start with the basics, okay? So start with on what the use case is about. Your use case is ODU signals changing bandwidth. Okay, focus on that.
Right. In fact, that's where the little bit of difference comes in perspective. What Subhash wants.
But go to multi-cluster in the second stage. Yeah.
What Subhash wants, don't concentrate on the use case. You please concentrate on this, whatever we had shown as the generic framework. You please comment on how it can be done. OSA controller, no, this is not the way to do. And then, because the use case, right, he had actually truncated it, to avoid observability and all that stuff. But really, you want to build a framework, generic framework, and he believes this is a way. So, in fact, like what Subhash wants is don't concentrate on use case. Please concentrate on whether this framework can be a multi-cluster, with observability, service assurance, generic service assurance. So he wants that comment from you.
Exactly what
I'm saying start with the basics, Varada, right? Because we continue there's no point for me commenting on all of that, because in my view, none of what you showed right now we actually need. And you make a very specific thing, which is very bad in general for the industry, because you're focused on something that is very specific, and that is never a good thing.
That is one sample. It's, ODU is a sample. It's not we are
no, because you're not, even what you just showed has nothing to do with ODU.
Wim, but again, like I would say, first
guys, I need to drop, unfortunately,
okay, sure.
but yeah.
Right. I think, offline, you please clarify, your intent, Subhash.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
What you believe first.
But it's nothing. See, you can have all kinds of intent. Focus on the first step. And a lot of what you try to intend, I'm telling you, you think you have something, but I'm telling you, you really don't.
Actually,
okay, that's a different conversation.
Correct. But we don't want any, we are also very open, unlike we are not closed. But what we want to hear is what is, what we can fit in for the generic service assurance. And if you say, no, we'll start with the basic use case, that's not what we want. We believe, to start with a very simple, for example, this ODU, already we can do it with the current CR only, with the current operator only. But we want to do something what ORAN specifies and what we believe is generic. In that, if you have any comment, it'd be very useful, actually.
See, none of what you showed is, but I will discuss for, yeah. Okay, I need to drop, guys.
No problem. We can offline also sync up, Wim. No worries.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Wim, for your time and bearing all the queries. Yeah, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.